This is a story about a girl, a mother, a family, a road, a hospital, a few bags of groceries, and a smile. This story starts 3 years ago with one man. His name is Manuel Nunez. Manuel Nunez was my high school Spanish teacher at Flinders Preparatory School, which is located in La Cañada, California. In the summer of 2010, Senor Nunez began the Nicaragua Initiative. He took 5 rising seniors from Flintridge Prep to Managua for 3 weeks. During the day, the students participated in a student exchange program with the Lincoln International Academy, and in the afternoons, they volunteered at a pediatric cancer center called La Mascota Hospital. The hospital is located in the eastern part of Managua, the capital of Nicaragua. It began operating in 1982, and in 1986, the La Mascota program was developed with the help of Italian and Swiss institutions. The purpose of the program was to reduce the mortality gap between developed and less developed countries by offering the best possible treatment to all children with cancer in Nicaragua, while being completely free of cost. Treatment is free at La Mascota because of international sources. For example, the organization Cananca is the primary source of funds for La Mascota. They provide $400,000 per year for chemotherapy, antibiotics, and special exams. Despite the fact that treatment is free of cost, some of the families at La Mascota cannot afford to come to the hospital. Instead of telling you why this is the case, I'm going to show you, with the help of a little girl. But before I do that, I'm going to introduce myself. My name is Roy Yu, and I'm currently a sophomore at Northwestern University. In the summer of 2011, I visited Nicaragua in what was the second year of the Nicaragua Initiative. Like the year before, Senor Nunez took 6 rising seniors to Managua, where we volunteered at La Mascota Hospital. During the afternoons, we spent our time playing with the children in the recovery rooms. Senor Nunez and I went to the hospital with the intention of visiting one of the families at their homes. This is how we met Adriana. This is Adriana Melania Molina, and this is her mother Myra. Together, Adriana and Myra live with their extended family on a plot of land next to the Pan American Highway. We took an hour-and-a-half long drive from La Mascota and visited her family at their home to learn more about Adriana's situation.
23 años. Okay. ¿Usted es madre soltera?
Sí, el papá de ella falleció hace 5 años.
Okay.
Y el papá de la tierna que tengo es otro, pero sí me dejó embarazada y no me dio la cara tampoco.
Cuando usted va al hospital, ¿quién cuida a los niños?
Mi cuñada o una hija de ella.
Bueno, hablemos acerca de la condición de la niña, ¿verdad? ¿Qué tiene la niña?
La niña tiene cáncer. A ella se le descubrió que tenía tumores cancerosos.
Tumores cancerosos.
La enfermedad de ella se llama linfoma no Hodgkin.
¿Y qué han dicho acerca de
Dice el doctor que hay posibilidades que ella viva, de que ella siempre y cuando que ella pase su proceso de su tratamiento. Hace poco que estuvimos allá en La Mascota se puso mal, pues. No esperábamos que ella se pusiera así, pero estando allá casi se me muere. Chocaron los medicamentos y se puso mal. Yo la tenía chineada y cuando yo la miré ella estaba bien mal. Pero después el doctor, como el doctor iba entrando a la sala, entonces el doctor corrió a ponerle oxígeno, a ponerle tratamiento. Entonces la niña volvió y ya pues quedó y ya normal pues. Se calmó y todo, el doctor estaba pendiente y me dijo pues que sí, ya eran 2 veces las que se iba poniendo mal, que esperamos pues que las próximas quimios pues pasen, si Dios quiere pase bien, pero o sea nosotros no esperábamos eso.
In order to get to La Mascota Hospital from Adriana's house, Myra must take 3 buses. The first bus is from her house to Jinotepe, the second from Jinotepe to San Marcos, and the last from San Marcos to Managua. The trip takes 2 to 3 hours, depending on traffic. However, when Myra takes Adriana to the hospital, they must take a taxi because of Adriana's colostomy. A colostomy is a surgical procedure that brings one end of the large intestine through the abdominal wall in order to bypass a cancerous part of the colon. As a result, Adriana's stools drain into a bag attached to her abdomen. Myra must change Adriana's colostomy bags twice every day. Adriana must go to La Mascota Hospital every 2 weeks for consultation and treatment. Normally, she and her mother must get up at 6 a.m. in order to make the consultation at 8 a.m. When Adriana goes in for treatment, Myra stays with her in the hospital room. They stay at the hospital anywhere from a few days to a couple of weeks. Staying such long periods of time prevents Myra from working, putting even more stress on the family's finances. Not only is going to the hospital a financial burden, but it is also an emotional one. Myra has to leave her 2 sons at home while she is in Managua. Now please take some time to think about your own children. Just focus on them for a few seconds. If your child needed help, and you knew where to find it, what would you be willing to give up for his or her well-being? What would you be willing to sacrifice? Wouldn't you do anything in your power to save your child? But here's the problem. If you do take your child to get help, you stop earning money, which makes it impossible to make the trip. But if you do not take your child, his or her life is in danger. 75 parents at La Mascota, such as Myra, are facing this decision right now. These families live in extreme poverty. Most earn less than $2 a day. Some parents realize they cannot afford treatment and must watch their children die. Other parents are so desperate for treatment that they leave their children at La Mascota and never come back. How would you feel if you knew deserting your children was the only way to help them? To understand what kinds of struggles these families face, we interviewed one of the administrators at La Mascota. This is Violeta Marin, the director of the organization Fondo Social de Niños con Cáncer. We asked her to explain the struggles that these families face.
Entonces, dentro de estas dificultades que a veces nuestras familias tienen para asistir a la consulta puntual, cumplidamente, y que tal vez sea una gran diferencia entre cómo ellos van a resolver el problema de salud, existe el abandono a tratamiento o el retraso a las para asistir a las consultas. Eso, por los problemas de un país pobre, nuestras familias que vienen de distancias largas, ellos son los más afectados porque pues, tienen que priorizar entre la comida, el viaje al hospital, la salud de un hijo, estando otros hijos más pequeños en la casa. Pero además de eso, pues el problema del transporte, el problema económico, tiene peso en estas familias. Entonces, tenemos un rango de abandono en este momento de aproximadamente un 16 a 20%, de modo que nosotros estamos tratando con el apoyo de grupos como ustedes, que estamos tratando de reducir esa brecha y ese porcentaje de pacientes que tienen un alto riesgo de abandono por la situación socioeconómica que tienen.
The Oncology Department of La Mascota Hospital currently attends to a total of 400 patients. The hospital has the capacity to cure about 80% of its patients, yet the actual cure rate is about 60%. The reason for this disparity is that 20% of patients, which is equivalent to 75 families, cannot afford the cost of transportation and food. As a result, some of these 75 families abandon treatment, which ultimately leads to the death of their children. So how do we fix this problem?
Una cuota de colaboración por paciente de $50 mensuales, los cuales estarían contribuyendo, serían distribuidos para ayudas de transporte directo y paquetes de alimentos. Entonces, más o menos estamos hablando de que un paciente que necesita para un año de tratamiento esa ayuda son $600 al año.
Let's do some math. If a child needs about 2 years of treatment depending on his or her condition, and each year costs $600, then it costs $1,200 to cure a child. In other words, $1,200 saves a child's life. Now let's rewind to 2010, the first year of the Nicaragua Initiative. This is Naomi Hatanaka. She was one of the rising seniors who had visited La Mascota in 2010. After seeing how much help the families at La Mascota needed, Naomi founded a nonprofit organization in January 2011 called A World of One's Own. The organization is dedicated to providing funds for transportation and sustenance for the 75 families who are at risk of abandoning treatment, such as Adriana's family. It is run by a group of high school and college students who have visited La Mascota Hospital in the past, such as Kyle Eshin and CJ Harris. In addition, A World of One's Own is run with the help of adult advisors, such as Manuel Nunez, Sarah Hatanaka, and Peter Bachman. In April 2011, A World of One's Own collaborated with Flint Ridge Preparatory School to hold the first ever Walk for La Mascota Hospital. We raised a total of $6,000, which we used to support Adriana and 5 other families. The next year, A World of One's Own held the second Walk for La Mascota Hospital. We surpassed our goal of $6,000 by raising a little over $8,000, thanks to the generosity of our donors. So how does this money reach Adriana and the other families? The funds we raise are held in an account at Bank of America under the name A World of One's Own. We then wire funds to the Central American Bank under the account of our partner organization, Fondo Social de Niños con Cáncer. Violeta Marin is the director of this organization, and she distributes $20 a month to each family for their transportation costs. In addition, at the beginning of each month, she distributes food packages that contain $30 worth of basic food items, such as rice and beans. Now, many of you who have donated to us in the past might be wondering, how can $1,200 save a life? How can some cab fare and a few bags of groceries each month save a child's life? Here's your answer.
Hemos visto y hemos admirado de que pues como ella se ha recuperado y ha estado bien con la familia, ha estado asustada, emocionada de ver pues que la niña como superó la enfermedad. Todo le da una emoción, una alegría de ver a esa niña que ha superado y que está súper bien. Que pues todos nos emocionamos y le damos gracias a Dios todos de que ella está bien. Agradezco el apoyo de ustedes, de que nos han ayudado y estamos muy agradecidos de todos ustedes y a todos.
I had a little bit more time. If only I had a little bit more time with you. We could everything will be just right. And maybe someday I'll see you again. We'll float up in the clouds and we'll never see the end. We'll go up, 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 but I'll fly a little higher. Go up in the clouds because the view's a little nicer up here. My dear, it won't be long now. It won't be long now.
In the nonprofit world, people talk about how to measure an organization's social impact. What I am trying to show you is that our impact can be measured quantitatively by literally counting the number of lives that we save. Every single dollar that you donate can rescue a child from death, and there are no exaggerations in that statement. Adriana is living proof of this fact. If $1,200 can change Adriana from this to this, imagine what we could do with $10,000 or $20,000. $10,000 saves 8 lives, $50,000 saves 41 lives, and $90,000 saves all 75 lives.
Estaríamos de esa manera, que ustedes con esa colaboración acortando esa brecha, de modo que podamos llegar a los 75, 80 % de curados. Sí, claro.
There are 75 children. We have already saved 6. Do you want to save someone's life today?